And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Sonic Advance 2 on the Nintendo Game Boy Advance. I am one Welsh sheep yet again, and this game, ladies and gentlemen, is obviously the sequel to the original game. And right from the get-go, one little criticism I have, all the characters are locked. Good job, Dimps, you locked off the characters. That's one of the reasons I love the first game. So we need to play the game as Sonic in order to access all of these characters, including the new character, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, this is the sequel to Sonic Advance 1, which, as you can probably guess, the gameplay style is pretty damn similar for the most part. However, the entire emphasis on the game has completely changed. In Sonic Advance 1, obviously it was more of a platformy, classic Sonic the Hedgehog experience. Well, in this game in particular, folks, the experience has modified itself into a more fast-paced, gotta go fast type of gameplay style. We need to go through each of these stages as quick as we physically possible, collecting these objects. These are special rings. There are 7 of which located in every single act of the game, and if we collect all 7 in a single act, we get warped to the special zone. And this is pretty much where the games of the Sonic franchise start to get a little bit funky with their collecting of the Chaos Emeralds. Like Sonic Advance 2 and Sonic Advance 3 are a bit of a pain in the ass to get the Chaos Emeralds. In fact, I've only ever gotten all the Chaos Emeralds twice for Sonic Advance 2, you know, ladies and gentlemen. It's this time you see now and my original time I got the 7 Chaos Emeralds, because it's such a massive pain in the ass to collect all these, because you need to know the exact right routes to go through, and you need to not mess up while going on each of these routes. It's such a picky and a pain in the ass system, you know. But anyway, as you can probably tell by there, I did like a double jump sort of feature. Whenever you bounce off springs in this particular Sonic Advance, ladies and gentlemen, you can actually press the R button. And if you press the R button while pressing the directional button up, you'll be able to do a lift upwards. And if you press the R button while going sideways, you'll do a boost to the left or right of the stage, you know, ladies and gentlemen, which allows you to have quite a bit more platforming opportunities, which I do appreciate. And while I prefer Sonic Advance 1, this game is nothing to shake a stick at. This is still a fantastic game. It's just not as good as Sonic Advance 1 in my professional opinion, you know, ladies and gentlemen. But moving on, one thing I do think has been improved from Advance 1 is the special stages, ladies and gentlemen. These special stages are something, for once, pretty unique for the Sonic franchise. Something you don't really see much. Instead of going through a half-pipe or linear tunnel collecting rings, now we are in this massive open field sort of scenario, collecting all these rings and trying to get the mandatory number of rings that is required. And obviously it's at the top of the screen. We need 300 rings to collect, and we've almost got them all already. It's very easy to collect the rings in this one, but you'll find these special stages start getting harder and harder and harder the more you play through them, because when you collect certain trails of rings, if you collect enough trails of rings quickly enough, then you will get a ring multiplayer at the top of Sonic. For example, I just had a number 2, and yes, that was just Zero, the bandit from Sonic Adventure you just saw, even though he died. But yeah, as you collect more and more of these trail of rings, you'll see multiplayers pop up against Sonic, and if you get times 2 on him, well, you have double the rings. If you get times 3, you get triple the rings. If you have times 4, you get the picture, ladies and gentlemen. And the only real complaint I sort of have for the special stage is when you collect all the rings needed for the Chaos Emerald, the special stage itself doesn't stop. You need to just continue waiting until the time limit at the top right of the screen hits 0. Because Zero's chasing us, get it? And if Zero hits us, we do lose 10 rings, I believe, which, honestly, considering how you get rings in the special stage, is pretty... 10 rings is nothing, really. I mean, I've seen playthroughs people get up to 999 rings in these special stages, which is something I've never been able to do. But I know people can do it. I know it's possible to get up to 999 rings if you know exactly where to turn. Because generally the best rule of thumb with these special stages is try and find a certain pathway or rings to follow, and if you follow that pathway to a T without making a single mistake, you usually have more than enough rings in a single loop to get a Chaos Emerald. So I like the special stages. They're pretty damn fun special stages, if I do say so myself. It's just a shame that entering the damn things is an absolute bloody nightmare. Also, you don't look up if you press the up button anymore. Now instead you do like a taunting animation instead, which I don't know how I feel about it. I like it, but sometimes I just want to look up, so I don't know. Each character has their own unique little animation when you press the up button, which I do appreciate. And that jump dash ability I just did as Sonic, well, that was actually in Sonic Advance 1. I never used it in Sonic Advance 1 for a good reason. It's useless in Sonic Advance 1, but in Sonic Advance 2, because the game is filled about, you know, it's all about going fast. It's all about collecting the speed and keeping the speed for as long as possible. Using your jump dash can be invaluable if you want to collect, you know, well, not so much collect, if you want to get through the stage quickly, you know, ladies and gentlemen. It is such a useful ability in Sonic Advance 2. And I can't remember if it's in Sonic Advance 3 or not. I never really use it in Sonic Advance 3, but to be fair, Sonic Advance 3 is pretty naff level design, so I'll talk about that when I get to it. So there is that, you know, folks. And also with the trick functionality as well, if you do the R button trick while not pressing any direction, you will do like a backflip, which can be used in a couple of instances just for speedrunning purposes, which you may see me use later down in the LP. Maybe you won't, who knows? Anyway, it's time for a boss attack, ladies and gentlemen, and Eggman sporting yet another hammer mech. This is a big... he likes his hammer mechs in the Dimps games, I've noticed. And he's carrying the new character, Cream the Rabbit. And I find it really strange that they decided Cream the Rabbit by here to be the first character you unlock. To beat Eggman, by the way, you just time your jumps and you can beat him easily. All the boss fights go on this sort of run forward and then hit him sort of mentality. But yeah, I find it strange that Cream the Rabbit here is the first unlock of the game, because she is broken! I shit you not, she is a broken character. She can cheese every boss fight in the game. Because she has a Chao who, coincidentally enough, maybe it's intentional on the developer's part, is called Cheese the Chao. So, I don't know, Cream the Rabbit here is a bit of an overpowered character, if I do say so myself. Wow, you're the Mr. Famous Sonic! The Mr. Famous Sonic. Thank you very much for saving me. What a polite girl. See you later, and don't get caught again. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I'm not very good at female voices. Mom's still in trouble. I need to go help her. So yes, now we can play as Cream, who is a ridiculously overpowered juggernaut of a character, ladies and gentlemen. And just like with Sonic Advance 1, I am going to be switching out the characters whenever I unlock them. The only difference is now I'm only going to be playing as certain characters in certain zones as opposed to certain acts. So yeah. But anyway, Cream's up animation. Ice cream! Yay! Oh, come on, Cream, give the Chao ice cream. Look at Chao's face, he looks depressed. Give him some ice cream, you evil bitch. But Cream's main abilities involve her using her Chao cheese to attack, like so, and she can actually fly as well, ladies and gentlemen, in a similar vein to Tails. Although her flying ability isn't as useful as Tails' flying powers, you know, she can still take advantage of flying to her full effect. And from points in the map, sometimes you may actually find breakable floors and breakable walls. Now, if you see breakable floors when you're playing as someone like Sonic or Knuckles, you can actually do a ground pound maneuver, which will allow you to break through them by jumping and pushing the B button. I never really use these floors because, truth be told, there's no reason to, but, you know, it's an option. It's there if you really want to, you know, if you really want to go after secret alternate pathways and find out what's what, you know, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, if you notice as well, whenever we reach full speed with each character, we actually have something of an after image following us. And basically, this is what is called boost mode. Now, whenever we have this after image and whenever we're going at top speed, we will automatically get a massive burst of speed. And, yeah, as you can see, this is top speed. Each character of the game have their own unique, They reach top speeds at different lengths of time, so, you know, if you're playing as Knuckles, you may reach top speed quicker than, say, Sonic does, but, I don't know if their actual top speeds themselves are any difference in terms of actual speed, because the game's going so damn fast anyway. If the characters move at different speeds, I can't lose it. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, trust me, Cream and Cheese by here look like a generic basic Tails type Sonic character with a melee attack right now. You're gonna see much later on in the playthrough how broken Cheese can get. At least I think so. I don't remember, it's been years since I edited this, but I think I show off how broken Cheese can be, you know, ladies and gentlemen. And it's still such a pain in the ass to get these damn special rings. It's like, seriously, you do not believe how long this LP took me to record. Too fucking long, I tell you that much. Yay! Also, whenever you reach the goal, well, it's not so much a gold ring, it's more of a goal post in this one. When you reach the goal post at the end of each zone, if you stop prematurely when you don't have the 7 special rings, you'll actually be able to get bonus points, which do nothing. They flat out do nothing, but, you know, it's neat. It's neat that you can get bonuses by stopping prematurely, which not many people really notice. I don't think people realize you can do that, and honestly, there's no real point to getting points unless you want extra lives. And much like Sonic Advance 1, this game has a save system, so if you run out of lives, well, it's no big deal, just reload the save file again, you know, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, look how quick you can get through these special stages. We have 80 seconds left on the timer, and I've already collected enough rings to get the next Chaos Emerald, you know, ladies and gentlemen. I love this special stage, but I really wish there was a way for them to speed up the special stages. Maybe if they had it so the time limit goes down quicker when you collect enough rings, I have no idea. But anyway, I do have a bit of a challenge for the viewers, ladies and gentlemen, in this video, so if anyone sees me get a certain amount of rings, feel free to try and beat my ring count and let me know how many rings you can get total in these special stages. I might also try and ramp up the viewer interaction in these videos a tad bit. Plus, I'm actually legitimately curious to see how many people can get really high scores, because I know my scores aren't exactly stellar in these special stages, and I generally don't really care about getting a high score, but you know, when the special stages are in this style and I have to wait for ages just to get out to the special stage, I usually figure, I might as well just run around aimlessly and grab rings, what can I tell you? Although one thing I do like is that if Zero catches up to you, there isn't a guarantee you will get hurt by him, because you can actually jump into Zero himself and negate any damage that would normally be done to you and bounce off him harmlessly. And you're gonna be loving that ability much later on in the playthrough, because, you know, the Zero can creep up on you in the latest bonus stages. He's still not a big threat. It's much like Sonic Adventure in that regard, with him not being much of a threat, but, you know, you can easily catch up to you, so it's good to know that you have a way out if you jump at the last second, you know, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, I have to say, I do love the soundtrack of this game. This game has a phenomenal, bellissimo soundtrack. Which makes sense, it's a Sonic game. What Sonic game have I covered so far that doesn't really have a good soundtrack? None, I say, meh! But anyway, this zone by your hard crater zone, you do need to watch out a little bit. This game's difficulty ramps up a lot quicker than the difficulty level in Sonic Advance 1, ladies and gentlemen, because you're going to find lots more ridiculously placed enemies, lots of enemies you can easily run into if you don't know where they are at, and for the most part, there's a lot more bottomless pits. In fact, your #1 cause for death in this game will be bottomless pits. I was good enough that I wasn't a bottomless pit there, but that would have been a perfect example. You will die, and you will die, and you will die from bottomless pits, especially in the later half of the game, because the game does get a little bit dickish in bottomless pits a little bit later on. And if you recall the trick move that I mentioned previously, you will need to know how to use the tricks, like the little twirl I just did as Cream, in order to survive through this game, because there are levels in this game where it is mandatory to know how to use that twirl move. It is mandatory to figure out how to maneuver the levels, because otherwise you're going to die! And you don't want that to happen, do you? Do you? Yeah, I thought not. But yeah, I like this stage. I'm surprised. I actually love the background. You know, not many people pay attention to the background, but I do love the fact if we go further down into the level, we get deeper and deeper into the volcano, and if we're higher up on the stage, we see the top of the clouds and the top of the rocks in the volcano. I don't know. It's a little bit of attention to detail that I like. But I digress. Time for another boss fight against Eggman's tank. Now, Eggman's tank by here, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to run up to it and time your jumps to get over these bombs. But again, if you have cream and cheese the chow, you can effectively cheese this boss battle just by standing back, dodging anything that comes near you, and well, just chucking cheese at him until he explodes, you know, ladies and gentlemen. Another move that Cream also has that I never really brought up as well is Cream, unlike Tails, can actually cancel her flight powers if you press the B button in the air, which is actually pretty damn useful, and it's a move I really wish Tails took advantage of at some point in the future, but, you know, alas, Tails never does. He is that silly fox after all, yes. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Eggman is down yet again, and that is it for this part, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you all for watching, hope you all enjoyed, don't be sheepish people, and I'll catch you all next time.